takeover has officially started and Amazon's in the driver's seat. Let's headline this story.
Now, if you guys already know, with Amazon has been laying off people left and right, and it's happening all across. And if you think about it, right, if Amazon is laying off people, any of the big tech companies are coming down with layoffs as well.
All right. Headline number one, Andy Jassy to staff. There's never been a better time to learn how to compete with a system that doesn't sleep, take lunch, or need health insurance.
And that's true, you know. If you think of a mind of a CEO and you're trying to capitalize as much profit as you want to, of course, you're going to lay off your biggest expense. Your biggest expense is always going to be payroll. And it kind of sucks because if you're a middle class person and you're just getting by, then you have to find a new skill. You're going to have to jump into a new industry, and it's just going to be something that is going to be a transition for a lot of folks.
Headline number two, Amazon says corporate headcount to shrink, but spirits to remain broken at scale. Headline number three, Amazon's AI layoff hailed as a huge success, especially by the human HR team that used to fake empathy while manually firing people. Headline number four, Jassy says he's optimistic about AI's potential to reshape the workforce, citing The Hunger Games as useful case study.
And you know what? It's going to reshape the workforce for sure. People are going to have to start doing more things that deals with tech. I mean, honestly, but at the end of the day, also with that, you got to think there's only going to be so many jobs, and there has been so many layoffs. I don't understand how the labor force is not 20% unemployed right now with all the government layoff, all the big tech layoffs. Everybody is getting laid off in some type of capacity. But I honestly think this is going to bite a lot of companies in the ass in the next couple of years, because they are going to hire all this AI. This AI is not going to work, or it's not going to be consistent, and it's going to be a big hiring boom, I suspect, in the next 5 to 10 years to clean up the AI. We'll see.
And headline number five, Amazon says people aren't obsolete, will serve as emotional support animals when the machines start asking why they were built to suffer.
Wow, that would be funny, but I don't believe that's going to happen.
Daily lives. How are you preparing? Last thing I'm going to say about the whole layoff conversation is, I want to ask, all of you out there, what are you doing in preparation for what's happening in our different industries? At least for those who are affected, who potentially could be affected. I think a number of us will be affected by the integration of AI into our daily lives. How are you preparing?
You know what I'm really afraid of as a software engineer is AI getting so good that it is able to take tasks from the product managers and really eliminate majority members of our team. They can, and I'm saying in terms of like, it can take the tasks from the project managers or the product managers, actually implement the code, test it in different environments, make sure it works, and be able to communicate with the product manager. That's when I'd be afraid of AI. I think a lot of companies are experimenting with AI, and they're making a big bet saying, hey, we are going to try this. We're going to bet on it. If the bet plays out, if the bet wins, we get to save millions and billions of dollars. But at the end of the day, it's going to really turn the world into, it's a movie that I seen before with Justin Timberlake, where you got the really, really rich, and you got the really, really, really poor, and time is your currency, and it's not paper anymore. So the more time you have, of course, the longer you live. If you run out of time, you run out of life.
Preparing for this new frontier, what are you doing? What skills are you acquiring? How are you making yourself more marketable in the position that you are in now, in the roles that you are in now? How are you separating yourself from the pack? What other jobs or other skill set do you think is probably important? There's a lot of conversation.
I'm starting to think that, with a lot of people getting laid off, it's going to take a lot of people are going to be working in the same industries, man. Not everybody can be a coder. Not everybody can be HR. Not everybody can be a plumber. Not everybody can be an electrician. There's only so many houses that's going to get built. There's only so many plumbers that we can have to where we're literally racing to the bottom in price, and I really don't know what the world is coming into, man, but it's definitely something that, to me, it's a little exciting, because I think with an opportunity like this or an environment like this, it creates what you call opportunities. It creates opportunities where, if you're aware of everything that's going on, if you know how to use these things, then you can actually benefit from it. If you know how to use it. There's a lot of people out this world who never use ChatGPT, never use Claude, never created an AI generated image, never created an AI generated video, and don't know all about these services. And with that, it is putting them behind, because they really don't know what AI is. They think it's just a bot or a machine or just some type of mystic thing. And for the people that are aware of it and knows about what's going on, they can benefit if they are preparing, and that's starting a business, creating a SaaS application, doing something in that nature, to where that you are honestly competing yourself. You have to compete nowadays. I think jobs are going to be almost obsolete. You're either going to have a business, some type of application, to where you're self-sufficient. Everybody, I'm not going to say everybody. Majority of the people are going to have to be self-sufficient. Jobs is not going to be a thing. I really fear for my kids, man, because they're going to eventually want to be independent, and adults that, of course, don't want to live with dad anymore. And what do they do? There's only so many doctors that we can have. There's only so many, medical professionals that we can have. What are they going to do?
Do you remember all those techfluencers who were trying to convince you that if you learned how to code, that was your golden ticket to easy money and an easy job?
Man, that was me. That's the reason why I got into coding. I tried to do cybersecurity first. Just wasn't my thing. Wasn't tangible. I couldn't really build anything or build like a resume off of anything. Then I learned some software engineering like 2018. I got my first job in 2019, and I've been a software engineer since. Still a software engineer. I built my own apps and all that types of stuff. And back then, they were right. You get a software engineering job, man, you kind of good. You kind of good, right? I'm pretty good right now, and I'm loving it. But with all the tech layoffs and everything like that, it is a scary time to be a software. It's a scary time to be anything right now, because jobs are just cutting everybody that they can cut and trying to replace them with AI. When right now, I believe we're in the early stages of AI. I think there's so much more that we can potentially get from it. But right now, a lot of companies are betting their bottom dollar or their last dollar on AI's potential in the near term. And we will see how things play out in the next 5 to 6 or 5 to 10 years. I really believe that it's going to backfire on some companies, not all, and they're going to rehire or go back into a hiring boom. But at this time, I think a lot of people will be more self-sufficient. They will learn how to make money on their own, that they won't even need to look for a job anymore.
Did you know learning how to code is one of the most in-demand skills in the world?
You have to start coding. If you're seeing this, you probably thought about coding before.
Right, the layoffs are already piling up this year.
With more layoffs just announced.
Last year, more than 250,000 jobs in the tech industry disappeared. From 2010 to 2022, we basically were living through a modern day American gold rush known as the tech industry. This is a map of Silicon Valley, and companies like Google, Meta, Uber, they were born during this time. And during that 2010 to 2022 timeframe, there was a lot of free money floating around that was helping to basically create and finance these businesses. And the reason why there was so much money was because interest rates were almost at zero. So it basically cost no money to borrow money. If you literally had any idea for an app, there is a good chance that you could probably find an investor to give you some money. Do you
I think now with AI and everybody knowing how to use AI to build code, sometimes the code isn't the best, but the whole vibe coding thing, there is a lot of software engineers building apps right now, and I think that is going to be a pattern to follow for all the next up and coming engineers, not to really get a job, but to build 10, 11, 12, 13, 70 apps. If you can have all these apps generating $1,000 a month, man, you won't ever need to have a job ever again. And there's so many solopreneurs, so many solo devs who are building these apps that are just doing one thing. Like I seen a thing with a guy who has like a bank statement app or something like that, or a bank statement converter, and he's making $40,000 off of this little application. And I think that is what is gonna happen to new engineers.